Jai Jindra.
Namo Doi Savariyanta, Namo Doi Savariyanta, Namo Doi Savariyam, Namo Doi Savariyam, Namo Doi Savariyam, Omkaram Sayam Sanjam Jayanti, Oshadam Jayam Karayam, Manganam Mapani, Namo Kamuni, Manganam Kundari, Sandam Osumangan, Namasanam.
Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Sharanam. Om Karam Bindu Sanyapam Nityan Jayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Om Karaya Namo Samaysar Swana Bhutya Chakasa Chakavaya Bhavaya Sarvabhavantarachide Om Nana Anjana Sattva Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Ekankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkarnada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sao Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Etirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangadotene Namo Te Sri Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Devyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Bhukanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pame Sarvesi Janasmandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhatakre Hum Ekasudha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamaya Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Parmanu Matra Nathi Hare Yamanetrate Majgnana Nathikara Kanati Vedaka Hare Jnane Jakarmodaya Nirajara Bandhate Majamokshane Om Namo Siddhebhyo Om Namo Siddhebhyo Om Siddhakare Namah. Jai Jinendra. Today is July 27, 2016, and we are continuing our discussion in Samaysar, and we are in the stanza number 9 and 10. And last time we finished part of it. I tried to rush it through, but I knew it was not the right thing, so we'll be completing most of it today. So here we go for the slides. Let's see. Share the screen. Okay. Okay. So we were over here. That now we understood that what is the Acharya Bhagwan trying to explain to us in stanza 9 and 10. So he says that the understanding of the soul can be done in two phases, one from the absolute point of view, one from the conventional point of view. Here Acharya Bhagwan says absolute point of view means experiencing phase. I'm experiencing right now my soul. Muni Maharaj, he is experiencing the soul in the 7th spiritual development stage. Aryan Bhagwan at 13th spiritual development stage, he is experiencing his soul non-stop completely. Siddha Bhagwan, he is in a state of perpetual experiencing the soul from now till ever and ever and ever. So this experiencing phase is one, which if we ask question to Aryan Bhagwan, or if we ask question to Muni Maharaj, that please show the experience to us. Experience cannot be put in the language. Language has limitation. Language makes divisions. If I'm on the ocean front, the cool breeze is coming, the waves are coming, the birds are singing, the sun is setting, and I'm just feeling really happiness from within. How can I express my happiness? There is no way you can express. Then if somebody says, no, you got to explain to us what it means. So I have to make divisions on those things. Cool breeze was going on and I was feeling great. Sun was setting and it was a memorable time. The birds were singing and it was making me feel pleasure. And all those things, I had to divide my experience into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences. So the experience cannot be explained. So one who knows the soul in its indivisible form is in the experiencing phase, and it's difficult to describe if there are no words to explain experiencing phase, because it is imperceptible by spoken words. The whole experience you have it sitting on the beach in the evening and you are experiencing, it's called imperceptible by spoken words. It's vachan agochar. And so this is absolute point of view. In toto, I'm experiencing whole thing. That's an absolute point of view. But Acharya Bhagwan says, okay, you are asking me the question. Omniscient Lord says, okay, you are asking me the question. So I had to explain this experience in words. And their words have limitations. But still, I'm going to try. Number one, Omniscient Lord at the 13th spiritual development stage experiences the whole complete soul substance. He experiences whole complete soul substance with its infinite attributes and infinite modes. He experiences that. So, Omniscient Lord, we can just take Mahavir Swami, our 24th Lord, who was the last Tirthankar Bhagwan, and he experienced himself. He has an omniscience knowledge. When he tries to explain in words, minimal part comes out. Infinite, 1 over infinite part comes out in the spoken words. In the Divya Dhvani, the divine sound that it emanates from Bhagwan's body, it's called Omkar Dhvani. So minimal amount, whatever he experienced, it comes out minimal thing. 1 over infinity. That's knowledge, it comes out in the divine sound. Once that divine sound comes out, and Ganadhar Bhagwan, the first disciple of Lord Mahavir Swami, in our case, Gautam Swami or Indrabhuti Gautam, and those 11 disciples are there. When they grab these things, they understand only in a minimal part of the spoken words are understood. And from their understanding, the scriptures are created, and that is also minimal part of it. Out of which we have the written scripture, it's minimal part of it, out of which whatever I know, it's minimal. So I know whatever I know, the infinite things are trying to get explained in the scripture. Acharya, the first disciple of the Lord, means Gautam Swami, he tried to explain infinite things out of it. And from there, from the language that he heard from Omkar, or from the Omkar Dhvani, divine sound of the omniscient Lord, was infinite times larger. And Bhagwan's knowledge of total experiencing of this self was infinite times more. So whatever we have right now is it's very microscopic is a puny word. It's a very minimal thing in front of us. But Acharya Bhagwan says, don't get discouraged. The words are the medium. But whole idea is not to hang on to the words, but go to the meaning of the words and try to go within yourself. And he promises us that yes, definitely you can also experience your soul. So this is absolute point of view here on this slide is a omniscient Lord, or the our saint at 6th and 7th spiritual development stage, or 5th and 4th spiritual development stage. Whatever they experience cannot put into words. So to know a thing, one needs to know the conventional point of view. One needs to have the language of the language form. And so in that thing, we have to take the support of the alien and self-knower capacity of the all-knower soul substance. All-knower soul substance, eternal all-knower soul substance, has a capacity to know everything. How does it know? It knows through its mode, and in the mode, the actual action occurs of self and alien knowing. We have gone through this one in 6th and 7th stanza. It will be quick revision that what's the process occurs in this knowing, self and alien knowing process. So illumination of alien object. How does alien object gets illuminated in my knowledge mode? So we say soul as a substance. The soul has a substance which has a infinite attributes are there, and we are taking extraordinary attribute as a knowledge attribute. We are going to take that one. That knowledge attribute has a mode, and that's called knowledge mode, which we are giving the impression of a mirror. Now, shape of the knowledge mode is Gnanakar, occurring by itself. Means this knowledge mode has whatever happens, it happens because of soul substance and knowledge attribute. All these things are occurring here is one unit. Now what's happening here? In this one, there's the illumination of the peacock occurs. How does it occur? Soul substance, knowledge attribute, knowledge mode by itself created an image of a peacock. And at that time, outside, there is a peacock present as an instrumental cause. So this is called object of knowledge, called Gne. It's present as an instrumental cause only. The capacity of this knowledge mode to have its illumination done, that is done by the soul substance in toto, by itself. It has no dependency on anything outside object at all. Outside object acts as an instrumental cause. It won't be unfair at this point to just revise our limit definition, instrumental cause definition. Instrumental cause is a one when an act is getting done in a principal cause, here in this knowledge mode. At that time, associated favorable thing present as an object that is called instrumental cause, and that instrumental cause does not take part in the knowing action of the knowledge mode. So here the illumination of an alien object occurs within me. That is our main point to understand that how this knowing occurs. Remember, the knowledge, substance, attribute, and modes, actually they are in one complete thing. They are as a one entity. This thing is, whole thing is one entity only. We are trying to make division on that entity. Actually, there are no division inside, but we are trying, for our understanding purpose, we are dividing so that we understand that all these things are as a one things only, and there are no divisions within. We are creating artificial division for our knowing purpose. So this is the way alien object gets known. Now, illumination of the self, same thing again, soul substance, knowledge attribute, and knowledge mode. And shape of the knowledge mode is occurring by itself. And over here now it's a self-knowing. Illumination of the self. This is a self. This is a eternal soul substance. So that is also getting illuminated. And again, this one is there eternally. It doesn't do anything about it. This mirror, the knowledge mode, simply illuminated the eternal soul substance. So that's called illumination of the self. Here, it's called swaprakasha. So eternal soul substance is a doer, karta. Mode showing the illumination of the eternal soul substance is called deed, karma, karta, and karma. Doer and deed. Means doer and deed occurs in the same substance. This whole doer-deed relationship that we are seeing over here, this whole doer-deed relationship we are seeing over here is occurring in a one substance only. This is the principal thing that Acharya Bhagwan tries to drive the point in Samaysar. He says, karta karma occurs in the same. Now, for example, I am speaking, therefore you are listening. I am the doer and you are the deed. It says that can never happen. That's not true. From absolute perspective, the doer and deed both occur in a given substance only. If this pencil is doing some act, this is a pencil's job to do it. I didn't do anything about it. So same thing, if I'm doing knowing action, it's because of me only. I'm the doer and my deed is a knowing mode. So doer-deed relationship occurs in the same object. If you remember very well, then Srimadji in a Chapadma Patra, he written that one thesis in which he says Chapadma Patra means he expressed about 6 principles. Soul is there. Soul is there eternally. Soul is a doer. Soul is an enjoyer. The liberation is there, and path to liberation is there. So 6 principles he's explaining. So third principle, soul is a doer. And what does Srimadji say in that sentence? Atma karta che. Atma che. Atma nitya che. Atma karta che. Atma bhokta che. Moksha. Moksha upay che. Within these 6 principles, Srimadji put the whole Jain philosophy.
Kirit uncle?
Yes.
Can I just try and summarize one point, what you said in a different way, maybe?
Yeah.
The doer and deed is all within one soul, one substance.
One second.
And so, for example, in the soul substance, there's a doer and deed relationship. But what is that? The only thing the soul is really doing is illuminating the knowledge mode. Is that correct?
That's all it
And the
does.
deed is the knowledge.
That's it does. That's what it does.
Right? That's what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Just confirming I got it.
Its just job is to just illuminate, nothing else.
And the deed is the knowledge.
No, deed is a knowledge, knowing.
So the doer, so the souls is doing to illuminate the knowledge, and the knowledge that's being illuminated is the deed.
Yes. And knowledge getting illuminated, that is called knowing. Knowing, because it's an action.
Okay.
No,
So
all over soul substance is a doer.
Okay.
Soul substance over here. The whole thing is one big thing, in which if you knowing action occurred over here, but if I'm looked from here, I am the knower from soul's perspective. From soul substance, I'm the knower. From more perspective, if I know that I said I am knowing, I am knower and I am knowing. So doer and deed are in the same substance.
Okay.
So, for example, I have a mango in the house. And a mango that was a green, unripe mango. And 2 days down the road, it became orange and sweet smelling and softer. Now, did I do anything to this mango? No. Mango by itself did all the action to change from green to yellow to orange. It by itself, from the sour taste, it made it to sweet taste. So all those things occur in the mango. I didn't do anything. So mango as a matter substance has doer deed within them. Soul has a doer deed within soul. That's all we have to understand, that part. And once we have that part understood, then it becomes very easy when we are going to the next stanza, which is going to be 11th stanza. And I keep on singing this 11th stanza for a while, and you're just wondering when is it coming out. It's coming. So so this is the way we have to understand. So now we saw the illumination of the self. We saw the illumination of the alien object. Now we are going to see both the things together. And we have gone for this slide so many times, so we know it. So now, knowing of the self occurred, knowing of the alien objects occurred. Only the thing over here we have to keep in mind that this kind of things occurred in the same soul substance, and it was not dependent on anything at all. This mode was supposed to illuminate. And so this object became becomes object of knowledge. The real knowing occurred here. This becomes object of knowledge. So this is the way self and alien illumination occurs, because action occurs in the mode. So we try to explain indivisible thing of the soul substance, knowledge attribute, knowledge mode. All these things are indivisible. And we try to make divisions that, okay, this is the way the self is getting illuminated. This is the way the alien object gets illuminated. So we are making divisions. Actually, there are no two divisions like this that are okay on one side of the mirror that you are seeing the soul substance, other side of the mirror you are seeing the object. No. Everything is one whole thing, indivisible. But indivisible cannot be explained. So here we are making this kind of all this arrow and all kind of jugglery to explain that point. So this is the main crux into the stanza 9 and 10, that I cannot explain indivisibility, so I had to explain with conventional form in the form of divisions. So here, now, So same thing what we learned, if we are just in the bullet form, one ends up knowing the whole cosmos. Instead of peacock, now there's a whole cosmos. Means alien knowing. This happens in one's own knowledge mode. That's what we knew it, that in my knowledge mode, the illumination of the whole cosmos occurs when I am an omniscient Lord. Remember, I have the capacity also today, even the lowest of the lower form of life, the Nigod, or the human beings, or any living being, they have the capacity to know the whole cosmos at a given time. But that's kind of dormancy sitting within. And I have to wake up this dormancy, and the omniscient Lord has woken up the dormancy so he can see the whole cosmos in his knowing mode. So knowing mode and cosmos are not having indivisibility. The peacock, actual peacock is on one side, and peacock's illumination is on the other side. So the actual peacock as an object and the illumination of the peacock are two separate things. They're two separate entities. So here, whole cosmos over here, whole universe over here, and the universe having the illumination in the knowledge mode. They're two separate entities. Okay? So knowing mode is not cosmos, and cosmos is not knowing mode. Peacock is not the knowing mode, and knowing mode is not the peacock. They are two separate entities. So knowing mode belongs to soul only. When we make that circle, means that knowing modes, where is the responsibility of this knowing mode? Knowing mode says, my responsibility, my affinity, my dependency is on soul substance. Soul substance is my generator. I have no problem with the objects of the universe. They have their own thing. I am belonging to my soul substance only. So this knowing mode comes from the knowledge attribute, and this knowledge attribute belongs to eternal soul substance. And so the alien knowing occurs in which the knowing mode belongs to the soul substance, not with the alien object. That we saw in the previous slide. We just wrote this is a bullet form. Same thing, self-knower. Knowing mode also knows eternal soul substance, Swaprakashak, self-knower. Knowing mode belongs to the soul only. This knowing mode comes from the knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute belongs to the eternal indivisible soul substance. So knowing mode and the knowledge attribute and all knower soul substance are all one indivisible form. Soul substance, knowledge attribute, and knowing mode. All three are in indivisible form. Therefore, knowledge is soul. Therefore, knowing is soul. Knowledge means knowing. Therefore, knowing mode is a soul. Remember here, these things that we are saying, that this knowing mode here, knowing mode, and as we said, this knowing mode and knowledge are the same things. So if I say, looking at this one, if I say knowing mode, or if I can say knowledge attribute, or if I can say all knower soul substance, it's one and the same thing. So knowing mode is the soul substance. Knowing mode is an all knower soul substance. This is the important thing to understand from this slide. And this is the crux of the 9th and 10th stanza. Knowing mode, this knowing mode where the action is occurring here, this knowing mode and soul substance are one indivisible thing. So that means knowing mode is a knowledge, all knower soul substance. Having said that, Therefore, knowing mode or knowing capacity or actual knowing is a soul. Soul means eternal soul substance. Now, what did we do here? Therefore, knowledge, let's put it here, knowing mode. Therefore, knowing mode is a soul. Knowing mode is a soul. Knowing mode is a soul. I made division here. One indivisible soul substance, where, excuse me, where all these things are happening. And now, to understand better, I said, knowing mode is a soul substance. So I make division in actually undivided thing. When I am making division in the indivisible thing, that's called conventional point of view. That's called vyavahar nahi. અભેદની અંદર ભેદ કરવો એ વ્યવહાર નહીં છે. Indivisible thing to make division. Of course, it's for my understanding. Indivisible thing to make division. Knowing mode is a soul substance. Knowing mode and soul substance is one big block. Instead of that, knowing mode is a soul substance. I made those two the division, and that division is called conventional point of view. Because that's only the way Acharya Bhagavan can explain to us what is happening in the indivisible soul substance. How does the action occur and what happened? So he divides all those things to explain to us. So, knowing mode is a soul. Knowledge is soul. Even the knowledge of the cosmos has indivisibility with the soul substance. Remember, as we said, peacock over here and knowing mode of the peacock is over here. This knowing mode belongs to the soul substance. So, knowing the peacock and the knowing mode are two separate things. This knowing mode, having known the peacock, has an indivisibility with the soul substance. That's what we saw in the previous slide. So instead of a peacock, now we put the whole cosmos. Aryan Bhagwan, omniscient Lord, Siddha Bhagwan, liberated soul, they are witnessing the whole cosmos every moment. Whole cosmos, not only the whole cosmos, but past, present, and future of every modes of every substance is present in the cosmos. Cosmos means a cosmic universe. That omniscient Lord, in his mode, can illuminate all these things from the universe. And having no relationship with the universe. Means universe is an object of knowledge, and I am the all-knower soul substance having capacity to know. I have knowing capacity. So, even the knowledge of the cosmos, so in my soul substance, with the knowledge mode, the cosmos got illuminated, and still this mode has an indivisibility with the soul substance. Therefore, cosmos means knowing the soul. Here is a whole cosmos. Here is a cosmic universe. Getting illuminated, knowledge mode end up knowing all these things. And so, when knowing of cosmos occurred, that means knowing of the soul. Let me just go back to that point a little bit with a picture here. Here. Now, remember, each time I'm illuminating an object, this object, now this could be a peacock or this could be the whole universe right now. Whole universe gets illuminated in my knowledge mode. And this knowledge mode and knowledge attribute and soul substance are one indivisible thing. They are one indivisible thing. So these things is only one unit. So, the cosmos knowledge means the soul substance. Knowing cosmos is a soul substance. So this is one unit only. But here we are saying knowing cosmos is knowing, this is soul substance. Soul substance ends up knowing cosmos. So these two divisions in the indivisible thing we made, and that's why it's a conventional point of view. Omniscient Lord doesn't care whether cosmos is there or not. His job in this mode is to illuminate, so cosmos becomes instrumental cause only. Instrumental cause did not interfere in the working of the soul substance. Yes, its presence is important, but it did not do anything to this knowing capacity of the soul substance. Water is there, fish wants to swim, fish is swimming by its own thing, water is simply present as an instrumental cause. Of course, we are not denying that instrumental cause presence is there, but what we are saying, what Gurudev Kanji Swami said, what Kunkun Swami said, what Mahavir Swami said, that instrumental cause is presence there, but it does not interfere in the working of the soul substance. So, that way we understood over here the last, okay. So therefore, knowing cosmos means knowing the soul. Knowing mode is a soul. Knowing mode is a soul. Gnan te atma. Gnan te atma. Knowing mode is a soul. This is the whole crux of 9 and 10 stanza. That's why he says, Gnan te atma. Means, Gnan te atma. Knowing mode is a soul. I made division in the indivisible thing. Indivisible thing is over here, and I made division. Because I made division, so it's called conventional point of view. And so, the divisions are perceived in this sentence. In this sentence, we are perceiving the divisions. And therefore, these divisions are perceived, and therefore this is called conventional point of view. Conventional point of view, this is typo over here. So, this is conventional point of view. Now, because Acharya Bhagwan explained to us making these divisions, so now in my mind is pretty clear. So now, if I'm looking at the pencil, am I knowing the pencil right now? Am I knowing the pencil right now? Answer is no. What am I knowing? I'm knowing the illumination of this pencil occurring in my knowledge mode, and me as a soul substance end up knowing this knowledge mode. So, pencil got illuminated in my knowledge mode. When I remember that part very well, the knowledge mode is coming from the knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute is coming from the all-knower soul substance. So each time I'm looking at this pencil, I'm publicizing my eternal soul substance. Each time I'm looking at this phone, I'm publicizing my eternal soul substance. Each time I'm looking anything in the universe, that means I'm publicizing my presence of my eternal soul substance. And this is called meditation. This is the way I had to try to understand. I'm looking at the car, that means knowing mode made the illumination of the car in my knowledge mode, and that knowledge mode was coming from knowledge attribute, coming from all knower soul substance. Means, looking at the car, I publicize my own soul substance, eternal soul substance. If I keep on doing throughout the day, start doing the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, 6 times, and I make this habit of making that, okay, each time I see an object, means I'm just publicizing my soul substance, eternal soul substance. Okay, I'm the eternal soul, and that's why I knew it. So if I keep doing that one, even if I'm closing my eyes and thinking about everything, all the thought process got illuminated in my knowing mode, and that's why I'm publicizing my soul substance, eternal soul substance. So this is called the pathway to understand who am I. Who am I? I'm the all-knower soul substance. How do I know it? In my knowledge mode, whole universe get illuminated. So that kind of attitude, if I create gradually day in and day out, that's why we have to go to so much detail of all this thing. Now it becomes easier for all of us to understand that, okay, when I know that when I'm looking at an object is an instrumental cause, and my soul did all the knowing, and all knower soul substance is responsible for this thing. And that's why my attention from the alien object becomes less and less and less intense, and my liking for my eternal soul substance keeps on gradually increasing. And at one final moment, my attention from the alien object will be totally gone, and I'll get immersed into my soul substance. And this is what Acharya Bhagavan says, that this is what we want you to achieve. And that's why we are doing all this exercise. So here, self-experiencing is the experience, and it cannot be explained. As we said before, I'm sitting on the ocean beach, and then I can't explain how happy I am and everything, because it's an experience. But the same is now explained through the knowing mode, which knows cosmos. Cosmos means cosmic universe getting reflected in my mode, and I know this one. And so when I'm knowing the object, anything in the object in the cosmic universe, that means I'm publicizing my soul substance. So one who has experiencing of the eternal soul substance also knows the cosmos, because once I experience my eternal soul substance, means my faith is now directed to my eternal soul substance only. Once again, when I get experiencing of my soul substance, when I get experience of my soul substance, I'm experiencing right now. That means my attention from the cosmic universe, all the object of the universe is gone, and it is now directed to my eternal soul substance. Remember, again and again we have said, the faith attribute can be of two types only. Faith directed to the alien object of the universe, or faith directed to the eternal soul substance. There are two ways only. There is no third way with the faith. So by knowing all this thing, all this knowing exercise we are doing, all this exercising we are doing of dissecting each and every sentence, that means I try to understand my true nature. Who am I? What's the anatomy of my soul substance? What's the physiology of my soul substance? When I know about it, and I know that my happiness lies within. That old lady looking for the needle outside, and kids are trying to help and they can't find it. So then they are asking grandma, but where did you lose your needle? Well, beta, I lost it in my heart. But why are you looking outside? Because it's light outside. It's dark inside. I can't find it, but there's no light. Same thing we are trying to do day in and day out. I'm trying to obtain happiness from the alien objects of the universe. I'm trying to get happiness from this pencil. I can't live without my cell phone. First thing in the morning when I wake up, I just start looking at how many WhatsApp messages I have and all the things. Am I going to get happiness from them? No. All the alien objects of the universe, because there is no happiness attribute within those substances. Happiness is present within me. And so when I look within me, then the happiness comes. So I have to direct my faith at a faith mode which is directed to alien objects to bring it to my eternal soul substance. And that's a whole idea to do all these exercises. Now, So knowing all 12 canons of scripture, I understood all the 12 canons of scripture. Means one is Sud Kevali from conventional point of view. When I knew all the 12 canons of the scripture, as we described before, it's a huge amount of scriptural knowledge to have it. When I know completely all 12 canons, means I also have experience of my soul substance. Knowing 12 canons means knowing the eternal soul substance. Knowing 12 canons means my faith is directed to the eternal soul substance. The essence of all the 12 canons knowledge is to have my faith attribute directed within. That's it. Now, do I do it by knowing 12 canons and bring my faith attribute, faith more to my eternal soul substance? Or whatever knowledge I get it, I know who am I, what's my true nature, where is my happiness, what is going to be beneficial to me. Knowing those things, also I can bring my faith to my eternal soul substance. So whether I have 12 canons, which definitely gives experiencing of the soul substance, or even partial knowing of the scripture, but now I knew that my happiness is within, my objective is within, my perspective is within, I have to look within. If I do that, that means I experience my soul substance, that means I get some darshan, and this is called conventional point of view. Therefore, conventional point of view is needed to explain absolute point of view. Absolute point of view means total, indescribable experience of the soul substance. But because it can't be explained, so Acharya Bhagwan divides and redivides and all this thing that he puts in front of us, and then it says conventional point of view is needed to explain absolute point of view. So, for example, this is the last slide of the day. The child does not know the lion. So the adult says, okay, do you know this cat? Cat has a fur, cat has a two smart eyes are there, raised ears are there, 4 legs are there, brown color is there. Do you understand? The child says, yes, I know the cat, now I know it. So the adult says, when you look at the lion, lion is exactly like the cat, except that it's a bigger one. So, cat becomes conventional point of view for the child to know the absolute point of view of an actual lion. So, Gnante Atma, knowing mode is a soul. That's a conventional point of view. But it says that means you have to experience a soul substance. That means you have to know the lion. So cat is a conventional point of view through which, through the medium of cat, now I know what a lion looks like. And so when I actually look at a lion, I said, oh, now I know this has to be lion only. You take your grandchild, explain to the cat, now take it to the zoo. Now you say, oh, that's like a cat, has to be lion. So conventional point of view shows what is an absolute point of view. Divisional aspect of explanation shows me what is indivisible soul substance. And this is the whole crux of 9 and 10 stanza. Because in the 8th stanza, it was said that one has to explain through conventional point of view only. Why? What was the reason? So Acharya Bhagwan put 9th and 10th stanza said that even though conventional point of view, even though cat is not a lion, but through the medium of cat, one knows what lion looks like. So the conventional point of view becomes the source to know absolute point of view. And that's why Acharya Bhagwan gave the definition of Sutta Kevali, means conventional Sutta Kevali and absolute Sutta Kevali. Conventional all-knowing and absolute all-knowing. And that's what it said, that the conventional point of view is required. Remember, we are like this child who have never seen the lion before. So this adult is our Sadguru, it's the omniscient Lord, it's the Holy Scripture. He is saying that, okay, look at this conventional point of view. And this conventional point of view shows the absolute point of view. Vyavahar nishchayno pratipadak che. Vyavahar nishchayno pratipadak che. Means the conventional point of view shows the direction to walk towards absolute point of view. Having said so many things about conventional point of view, absolute point of view, and this and that, and Vyavarnai, Nishani, what are all these things occurring? So, this is a prelude to the 11th stanza. 11th stanza explains to us what is a conventional point of view exactly, what is an absolute point of view exactly. What is the difference between those two? Why, if conventional point of view is only showing the absolute point of view, what is the necessity for putting conventional point of view? Why don't you show me the absolute point of view directly? Because I have not experienced the eternal soul substance in the form of absolute point of view. So that's the reason that I become like a barbarian person who does not know the priestly language, and so Acharya Bhagwan has to talk to me in barbarian language to explain to me what is a priestly language. So that barbarian language, quote unquote barbarian language, or the conventional point of view simply becomes a vehicle. I want to go to the second floor. I put my step on the first step on the stairs. It's very important, because if once I'm going one foot on the first step, with the help of that right foot, I can bring the left foot on the first step. Then the right foot goes on the second step, and that right foot is very important to have my left foot go on the second step. When I'm going on, both feet are on the second step, the first step now is useless for me. But first step was very, 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 very important to go to the second step, and so is a third and fourth and fifth and sixth and all those steps. So all those steps are important till I reach the second story, and at that time all that staircase becomes not important to me, but they are important while the process is going on. And that's what is coming in the 11th stanza. And that what is going to be, before we go that one, that we have to have fairly good knowledge of absolute point of view and conventional point of view. So we'll be talking about absolute point of view, conventional point of view as a separate topic. Gurudev Sikhanji Swami did not take that separate topic. Kunkun Swami, he did not take the separate topic. But he said, the Gurudev said, and Acharya Kunkun Bhagwan said, and Amritchandracharya also said that, listen, we know that when you become the student of Samaysar, we already know that you already know about this absolute point of view, conventional point of view. So we are not going to spend our time on those things. We are going to go to nitty-gritty, important thing only. So for me to accept all this knowledge, to grab this knowledge and everything, so my base has to become stronger. And so we have to have fairly good understanding of this absolute point of view and conventional point of view. There are books and books and books are written on those things. And what we'll try to do, next week onwards, it will take few sessions. It won't be over in one session. We will be able to understand absolute point of view, conventional point of view. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami said 5 principles you have to understand Samaysar. 5 principles. Conventional point of view, absolute point of view. Vyavahar nahi, nishchay nahi. Nimit, upadan. Instrumental cause, principal cause. And krambad paryay means the sequential nature of the events. Predetermined sequential nature. So 5 principles, if we can digest, then we will be able to understand each and everything much better. Whatever we understood so far, now our understanding will become that much stronger, that much deeper, that much thicker. And that's what we would like to do, is to solidify our knowledge. Once my knowledge gets solidified, once I know exactly who am I. Yes.
Those 5 aspects you mentioned, aren't those 3 of the 5 sambhais?
Nishchay, yeah, they are part of the Sambhai too, yeah. But these are the separate topic from those perspective we have to think about. And all the 5 Sambhais also will be coming time to time, and we'll have to take separate topics for that. Or as the stanza comes in, sometimes those things are mentioned in the stanza, and we'll go through those things.
What was that word, Sambhai?
Sambhai. 5 associated things through which an act is getting done.
Okay.
Yeah, it will come. It will come as we progress slowly, So, yeah.
I already asked one question. I want to just go back. I want to make sure I understand the definition. When you said publishing the cosmos, that means the illumination of the full cosmos on a soul is publishing the cosmos, right? Is that what you mean by the word publishing there?
Yeah, when cosmos is an object of knowledge, right?
Right.
Now that object got illuminated in my knowing mode, knowledge mode.
Right.
Means that, remember that peacock gets illuminated in the mirror? That mirror is my knowledge mode. Now knowledge mode belongs to knowledge attribute. Knowledge attribute belongs to all knower soul substance. So each time when I'm looking at an object, when I'm knowing an object, means I'm publicizing my eternal soul substance, which is the source of this mode.
Wait, that's the last. So you're publicizing your soul substance?
Okay. Here, let's come back. Yeah, So when I have the peacock illuminated in my mode,
right?
Where is this mode coming from? This mode is coming from knowledge. This knowledge mode is coming from knowledge attribute.
Right.
The knowledge attribute coming from soul substance. We are going reverse over here.
Right.
So when I'm knowing the cosmos or the peacock or an object, means I'm publicizing presence of my eternal soul substance.
Who are you publicizing it to?
To me, myself. Rather than getting impressed with an object, I should get impressed with my eternal soul substance, through which I end up knowing. Did you get it? See, this whole thing is a one thing, right?
Yeah.
So whatever action, when I'm looking from here, from the substance perspective or attribute perspective or modal perspective, means I'm talking same thing, right?
Yeah, it's all one thing now.
One thing. So what is that one thing? Is an eternal soul substance.
Right.
So whenever I'm knowing a given object, rather than getting impressed with the object of knowledge, I say, hey, I'm getting impressed with my soul substance, because that's an originator for all these things that is happening in my mode.
So you're saying when you are an omniscient Lord and you have the full knowledge of everything,
Yes.
You are just publicizing to yourself everything about the cause.
Not only omniscient, in fact, right now, me and you are also publicizing my own soul. I'm listening to your talking. Is the talking more important, or me in my knowledge mode perceiving your talk? So I'm perceiving that you are talking in my knowledge mode. That means I'm publicizing my eternal soul substance, which is within me.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
Think about it. Slowly think about it. It will make a lots of sense to you. And right now it needs to be thought. The thought process has to be done quietly, and I'll share the slides out tonight to everybody. So go through those things. You'll be all right. You'll be a fun thing going on. So here, knowing all these things, I think we are finally coming to an end of this stanza, 9, 10 stanza. So this is the end of our 9th and 10th stanza. And if there is still more questions or anything, we can entertain. But I think, probably we have taken about 4 or 5 classes on this stanza. It's pretty good understanding has to be there. And remember, because we are taking lots of time, because these are the original stanzas, up to 16 stanzas, Gurudev Sikkanji Swami said, it's so important that every day he used to recite that one in the Prakrit language. So he will recite, he used to recite 175 points every day as his Nityakram in the morning and evening. He will recite the 16 stanza, first 16 stanza of Samaysar. He will recite 24 Bhagwan's name. He will take 5 Bal Brahmachari Bhagwan's name, means complete celibacy of the Bhagwan from the birth. So there are Vasupuja Swami, Malinath Swami, Neminath Swami, Parsnath Swami, and Mahavir Swami. So these are 5 Bhagwans. They were celibate since birth. So he will remember those things. He will remember 47 partial point of view, which is there in a Pravachansar, and sometimes we'll be talking about those things. We'll be talking about, there's also 47 powers of the soul called Surtali Shakti of the soul. He will recite that one. He will recite 20 parts of Alingrahan and 6 parts of the Avyaktana bol. And then he will go for 10 parts of Srimad bowls, So there are 175 things he used to recite every morning and evening. If you are interested, I'll share those things to you, and maybe you can also do the same thing. I'm doing it, and so it's a really kind of a homage to our own guru,
Kirit?
Yes.
All right. During Atmanubhav,
yes,
you had a previous slide which I think it showed that it's an old slide, but it shows that in the non-pariyai of the non-gun of the Atma, that's in self-experience,
yes,
you have a non-akar of the self,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's my question. When you have the non-akar of the self in the non-pariyai, and you also, theoretically you have the knowledge of the universe, or knowledge of the universe reflected in that same pariyai.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. But when you're not, in self-experience, in other words, when the non-pariyai is reflecting some other non-akar,
Yes.
as in non-self,
Yes.
then you don't have knowledge of the universe. Correct? Full knowledge of the universe.
No, you are talking experiencing phase. We have the slide on the over here. So are you talking experiencing phase or outside the experiencing phase?
In the experiencing phase, my understanding from a slide subsequent to this is that in the non-pariyai,
yes,
it reflected the non-gun of the self, and simultaneously, once you know the Atma, you know the universe de facto, right?
Yes.
So unless you're experiencing Atma right now,
yeah,
in this samay,
Yes.
There's no way that you can have information of the universe reflected in the non-paryaya of the non-gun, correct?
Very good. Yeah. What happens there, that that's between the experiencing phase of fourth spiritual development stage, Chaturth Gunsthanak, Samyak Darshan Gunsthanak, and experiencing of the eternal, experiencing of the 13th Gunsthanak, Omniscient Lord. What's the difference between those two experiences? In the fourth spiritual development stage, when a person is experiencing self, then he said, I am the eternal soul substance, and whole universe in total is separate from me. That kind of knowledge occurs there. Experience is going on for the eternal soul substance. At the same time, I know the whole universe in the sense, the universe is separate from me. That's it. That's all he knows about it. Omniscient Lord actually knows the whole universe in his mode. He has an illumination of the whole universe, past, present, future modes and everything. So difference between the knowing capacity of the fourth spiritual development stage and 13th spiritual stage is such that this is partial understanding, saying that everything is separate from me. What is that everything? I don't know. Anything besides my eternal soul substance is separate from me. That's what the experience, that's what the knowledge occurs at the time. And that's a knowledge of the universe. In the sense, everything is separate from me. It's
incomplete. It's incomplete knowledge.
I'm sorry?
It's incomplete knowledge of the universe.
Incomplete. It's a incomplete knowledge. See, I don't know everything, past, present, future of everything, but at least I know that I'm separate from this substance. This doesn't belong to me. That's it. So whole universe is separate from me. And after he comes out of the experiencing phase, he still gets involved with a worldly object, but in the back of his mind, he has that constant conviction that, listen, this is my weakness that I'm getting joined in the object, but that is not my nature.
Right, that's the Labdhi. You talked about the Labdhi.
Labdhi and Upyog, you know. Yeah, so yes, Labdhi, you are right. Dormant capacity says that I'm separate from them. I should not get involved. But my weakness is still there because I'm not perfect. If I'm perfect, then I'm Omniscient Lord. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. And I think if there are other questions we can entertain. If not, then we can do closing. Before we do the closing, I think I'm going to send the, I think I may send out the email that Adaraniya Sri Hemant Bhai Gandhi from Songad is in US right now. And day after tomorrow, Friday morning, he's coming to Phoenix. And we are going to have Swadhay with him Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning and afternoon. And those information I have sent it out to you. If you still have a question, give me a call. We'll do on Zoom service. Of course, it's going to be in Gujarati and Hindi, but he is absolutely clear mind. And I had gone to Toronto to meet him, and believe me, I mean, so many doubts that I had it. He just cleared out in a simple fashion. He has amazing depth of knowledge. So, you know, only thing that is going to be Gujarati. So if you're interested, please join. And if you have any question, write the email to me or call me and I can send you all the information. It will be all Zoom and we'll be also recording. So later on also I will share out this recording to you, you know, okay?
Okay. And join soon.
Good, that's very good. Thanks. And you know, you tell your friends also, if those who are interested, then just tell them. In Saturday morning will be very good subject, which is going to be pertaining to our 11th stanza or pertaining to our conventional point of view, absolute point of view. And he's a master of that thing. and it will be a great way of listening to him. And Friday evening and Saturday, Sunday lectures in temple will be kind of a little bit easier for everybody to understand, but he has a great sense of humor and great way of presenting the subjects. You will love it. So tell your friends who are interested, they can also join, okay? All right.
Okay.
Are you going to send out that Kandiswami Savasanj?
Yeah, I'll send it out also today, okay? I'll send it, that is 175 volts, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, it's very easy to remember, you know, I mean, it doesn't, you know, if you're interested, you can remember that thing very easily, and it will be lots of fun that way, you know, it will give up lots of satisfaction that at least I can do something, you know, for somebody who taught me all this thing, you know? Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Kirit.
Thanks, Benito. Chalo. वाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ ढोक. 9 times Namo Mantra. Good morning, Jai Jai. Mid-shine the crown. Thank you, everybody.
So you leave us.